Kingston is expensive. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, welcome. If you have been watching my channel, you know that I stated that I was born and raised in St. Anne, but I now reside in Kingston. So I came to Kingston around 5-6 years ago. You know, there is an environment change, of course. These are some of the pros and cons that I think about living in Kingston, Jamaica, and I decided to share it with you guys. These are my pros and my cons. Start with the pros, and then afterward I'll give you guys the cons. Pros that I will be mentioning, and also the cons. It might not necessarily be like that for everyone, but these are some things that I realize that can be a pro and a con of living in Kingston, Jamaica, the corporate area. Yeah, this con that I have of living in Kingston, Jamaica is how accessible everything is. Nothing is too far away from you, whether it's hospital, whether it's a church, whether it's a doctor. It's just within this area. I like that I don't have to move outside of the parish to any corporate company or anything like that. Everything is just here. The second pro that I personally like about living here is that connections. Like, if you are a business person and you are looking to build connection, trust me, I think Kingston is the place to be. This is not for everybody, but I just think that it's something worth adding as a pro, to be honest. Third pro that I have here is opportunity. Especially if you're a go-getter, trust me, you have a better chance in Kingston. Environment is key. It motivates me. So if I'm going to be honest, when I came here to Kingston, I'm not going to say that I wasn't motivated, but I think that I realized I had to be on my toes. The environment, I would say, I adopt the environment. Everybody is on the go. It's like a New York. Everybody they're on the go, never stop moving. Fifth pro that I have on the list is that I think you are paid better in Kingston. Listen, it's a pro, but it's also a con. I will end that shortly. Why is a con? The first con that I have is that Kingston is expensive. Kingston is expensive, and that's why I realized that probably you're going to get a little bit more pay. Because it's just like living in a New York. If you live in New York City, you realize that you're going to get more pay, but you realize that amenities are going to be more expensive. You realize that cost of living is going to be more expensive. You get more pay, but you spend more. On to expensive though, it's relative. So I'm not saying that you can't afford it. It's going to be a little bit more costly to live in Kingston. Second con that I have about Kingston is that it has crazy traffic. The traffic crazy. So it's like when you live in Kingston, you realize that you now have to balance your time around when you go on the road and when you don't go on the road. But sometimes you have no choice. If you're supposed to reach at work at 8 in the morning, you're going to probably go through some traffic, because you're going to come home from work in the evening. You're probably going to go through some traffic depending on the angle that you're coming from. But in general, I think I want to put it on it as a con, because at some point you have to buck up on some high traffic, especially if you are traveling at peak hours. Next con about living here, you have to be more careful in the city. And as I said, it all depends though on where you are. But if you're going to go like in the major towns like Halfway and stuff like that, I wouldn't advise to walk around with your phone in your back pocket. Probably I'm just paranoid. Not to say that you're going to be robbed, because I've never been robbed. But you just have to be extra careful, be more vigilant when you're in this area. And I'm not saying this to scare anyone, because I do it every day. I go on the road. I'm not telling you that you're going to be robbed, but you just have to be a little bit more careful when you're in Kingston, because you just never know. Fourth con that I have living in Kingston, and this is necessarily a con for me, but let me explain. It's being locked away. So if you're not out and about and you're in Kingston, especially depending on the area that you're in and whatever, you find that you are more locked away. Just came to Kingston, being locked in the house. I think that me kind of feel like me that prison at first because I'm locked away, but no, it don't really bother me because I'll be in the house because I work from home and all of that. So now like literally be in the house for like 2 weeks, don't go outside, none at all, and it's like nothing. So I think that can be a con for some persons who are used to going out and stuff. So that was a con for me when I just came here, but now girl turn house rat and I have graduated. And the last con that I have on the list, it can be a stressful environment. Living in Kingston, as I said, and with all of the pros that I've given about the fast-paced environment, the traffic, all of those things, and even the good things too can be a con for some people, with everybody being so motivated and all of that. If you wake up and you may sometimes feel under the weather, for me at least, some days you feel like you're not doing enough because everybody, you know, is just on the go. So something you wonder, so wait, I wonder if I move too slow, you know. So living in a corporate area, you realize that there's so much things happening which can cause you to feel like you're not moving fast enough because you're in a fast-paced environment. It's like you can't keep up, everything is running away. So I personally think that can be a con, so it can become stressful for you, but it's not for everybody. I just think that it can be a con. I have had days when me feel like under the weather, like wait, I wonder if me not go hard enough. Yeah, these pros and these cons are relative, but they are just things to consider if you decide moving to Kingston, or if you are already living in Kingston. What do you think? Do you think these are some good pros or some good cons? Guys, if you think this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. You can comment down below if you guys feel the same way, or if you are planning on moving to Kingston. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. So much for watching, guys.